So today on here, I have my friend Rosa Tejadro, and I probably slaughtered your name, but um, she's someone we hooked up on, and she's very intentional. And something I love about Rosa is her story about she's from Mexico City and how she came to America. So, Rosa, could you tell us a little bit about your journey to America?
Yeah, sure. So, Marty, thanks for having me, actually. And I want to tell you uh, that I came into the United States like 14 years ago. I lived in a beautiful place in the east coast of Mexico called Veracruz. And
Okay.
so my husband was laid off. We had three little kids, and we decided to sell everything in Mexico. We burned all our ships, we sold everything, and we just came with our van, our dog, our kids, and that's there's no turning back. So we came here with an investment visa, and so we bought like a retail store
Mm.
that ship UPS, FedEx, those type of things. But I hated this store because I was not really an entrepreneur. I was self-employed, and my kids were little, and I had to be there, and I really didn't like it. And so, after 5 years of managing the store, we sold it with a good profit, and then we bought another business that was like a Thailand grout cleaning service machine,
Mm.
and so that was a terrible business. It didn't make any money, and my husband had to work the equipment because it was so complex that he couldn't hire anyone. It was awful. So I think after 2 years, we decided to let go of that asset, and we almost got bankrupt. Our landlord and where I stayed, when they say that when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
Almost everything happened in the same day. We let go of that asset. Our car was repossessed, and our
Uh,
landlord wanted to move us out of the house. So it was just terrible. So we moved out of the house into a small apartment, and then I took two jobs. I worked two jobs, to support my family. My husband, he's an architect, so he started doing some projects for investors, and until one time I learned about this mentorship and real estate, and it was a 3 days course, and it cost about $5,000. And I go like, oh my god,
okay.
$1,000! How am I gonna pay that? And so I had some little things, and I sold them. I was able to get the money, and I got into that mentorship program where I actually met my former business partner. We're not working anymore, and I
Mm.
think it was the best decision of my life. And after this course, there was about a year that I did everything the coach told me. How to skip trace, how to look for properties, the distressed properties, how to talk to sellers, and nothing happened. So after a year, we were able to start wholesaling a few properties, and then from there we started scaling up and fixing and flipping. And we met some private lenders, and they lend us some money to fix the properties. And then I discovered this subject to strategy, which is
Mm.
great, which is purchasing the property subject to the existing mortgage. So I mean, I think that's an amazing strategy, and it's just it's something that I've been doing since. Um, and life still goes ups and downs. And about 6 months ago, I had to move to Austin for uh, health reasons from one of my relatives,
Yeah.
and my kids live here, so I think that's fine. So I'm really close to them, but I'm still doing that. I'm still trying to encourage people to learn about this strategy, because when they talk about commercial, they talk about raising capital and investing
Yeah.
passively and all that stuff. But with subject to and with creative financing, you don't really need any money, to start purchasing property. So that's what I like about it. So that's how I started.
That that's good. Rosa, how long ago did you leave Mexico?
About 14 years ago.
14 years ago.
Yeah,
And
14.
what led up to that decision to come here?
Well, lots of stuff. And I think the first one, I've always liked San Antonio. When
Yeah,
when my husband was working as a director of a big construction company,
yeah.
we used to come for summer, and I brought my kids, and
Mm,
we had a great time. And I would say, "Oh, I've always liked to live there." And so when he was laid off, we decided to take the
yeah,
decision to come here and just burn all our ships, because there's a lot of people that say,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna go, and then let's see if I make it, and if not, I'll go back. And so we didn't do that. We just burned all our ships, and we decided, okay, this is what we have to do for the kids, for us, and that's what we did.
Do you think, Rosa, that everyone should burn their ships like that and just make a decision and go forward?
Well, everyone's situation is different, but I would
Hmm.
say yes. Because
Yeah.
even though
It's
there's been a lot of up and downs, I don't regret it a bit.
yeah. And I think it's really important. I think it's really smart that you did that because you didn't give yourself an opportunity, right, to go back. It was you were going
Yeah,
to make it work.
yeah, exactly. I didn't want to
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, what kind of, I mean, I could only imagine the kind of adjustments you had to make when you get here. You've got a young family, your husband doesn't have work. What kind of struggles did you guys have to overcome? How did you overcome those things?
I can tell you the first thing is that no, because you don't have a credit score or a credit record, no one will
Mm,
sell you anything or rent you anything or nothing. We had to put almost 8 months, in advance for rent, to rent the house.
wow.
So that was one of the things.
Wow.
Yeah, we basically, I can tell you that we started from zero. I mean,
Sure.
I I mean, I never in Mexico. I always stayed with my kids,
Yeah.
and my husband was the one working, and here I was the one. We bought a business, and I was the one in the business. I was the one operating the business, so I was there all the time. That was also,
Hmm.
I had to get used to that, and and adjust, and some challenging times.
Yeah. Rosa, how did you choose that first business, that retail center?
um well, I don't know. It was somebody told us, like, these GPS stores, FedEx stores, the franchises, they're great. They make a lot of money. Don't listen to them. Um,
Mm,
well, if you have a lot of stores, obviously you will make a lot of money. But if you have only one store, so this was a private business that did the same thing, and it was the same services, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and we got that opportunity from someone that we met previously in San Antonio,
okay.
and so we took it, we bought it.
That's really cool. And then, but you had to learn the whole business, right? I mean, you had to learn everything. And you were
Oh,
still and you're
yeah.
still a mom, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I came here, my kids were little, elementary. They went to, they started elementary school here.
Hmm.
But even I do want to tell you that we wanted to come to the U.S. since 2008, and we
Okay.
were going to purchase another business that did framing. It was like a framing company,
Yeah.
and they had good clients. But then the crisis came, and we couldn't do
Yeah.
anything. They lost all their clients, so we couldn't do that. So we had to wait for another 3 years more to come here. And so yeah, I mean I was still the mom, and sometimes I brought my kids to the business, and they hated
Yeah.
that. They hated being there. Yeah, but you have to make it work. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you stayed in that business for 5 years, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And then you guys sold it
Hmm.
and you made a pretty good profit. I mean, it
Hmm.
must have been felt really good when you sold that, right?
Oh, yeah. It was like a relief, really. Yeah, love being there all the time.
Rosa, how did you balance work life with motherhood?
um,
I mean, I know you burned your ships and you were like committed. You were going to
yeah,
make it happen. So I know
yeah,
that's a big part of it, but
yeah.
how did you balance that?
I can tell you that my I mean, when you get married, your husband, I mean, you have to make it work, and you are a team.
Mhm.
You're a team, right? So if someone has to work, the other part sometimes have to take care of the kids, and vice versa. So
Yeah,
so in this case, I operated the business. I had to be there, and my husband was the one, going back and uh, taking the kids to school and from school, and feeding them while I was at work. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's a teamwork.
yeah. That's good. And I love your team spirit.
Mhm.
Um, so then you sold that business and you
Mhm.
bought another business,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
that business didn't do so good.
No, we actually, I mean, we did so much research for that business, and I was like researching like what other business we could buy, and this one came along. Like it's a trailer to clean Thailand route. And so
Okay.
we did the numbers. We said okay, we contacted the company. We went to Arizona and certified ourselves on the business. And so the trailer was delivered to us, and we were so excited. But then, yeah, again, we started being self-employed because
Hmm.
nobody could work the equipment. And we had good clients. I mean, Starbucks was our client, but we had to be there at 11 o'clock at night. End up at 5 o'clock when I stayed home. My husband did this,
Yeah, yeah.
and so we had to do that, and he got burned out. He really
Hmm.
got burned out, and it didn't give much. Even if it was Starbucks, it didn't give much money. So we decided to let go of that asset.
Rosa, where did you learn all this about business? Did you just read a lot? Do you read books, podcasts? How do you learn so much?
About business, well, I have a degree in data and how do you say,
Science?
information, and I
Yep.
have also a master in business administration.
Hmm. So you just I mean, are you the brains of the operation with your you and your husband?
Yeah, yeah, I can say I can say I am. I mean, and that's how marriage works, right? Like he doesn't have to be the man doesn't have to be the provider all the time, and he loves being at home and
Yeah,
cooking, and making the bed, and bringing breakfast and lunch. He loves
yeah,
doing that part, and I love working, and I love creating and have a vision of something, of some new business. So yeah, that's the way it is.
that's good. That's good. I love your drive. Um, so you have that degree, but there must have been a lot of baby steps you guys took along the way, right? With learning different businesses
Mhm.
and real estate. I mean, we'll get into real estate in a little bit, but each of these times you're learning a little bit, you're taking some steps, and then the steps get bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know what, Marty? So the important thing here is taking action, because I mean you can
Yeah.
have any degree, any master's degree, and they can teach you everything, but if you don't take action and start experiencing by yourself, and failing over and over again, and just do it again, so and learn from that experience, then that's the way to learn. I mean, you have mentors, you have coaches, but really, what you have to do is just take action, take action.
Rosa, how do you tell people to take action? How do you get people to take action? Like I hear what you're saying. I totally get it. I totally wish we could just get everyone to do it.
Hmm.
How does Rosa say take action? How do you tell your kids that?
Well, it depends on how hungry you are, if you want if
Yeah.
you take action or not. If you, it depends of like what your why is. Like when
Yes.
I had to take the two jobs and when I started real estate, and still is my biggest why is they're my kids now. They're adults now, but they're still my kids. Uh,
Yeah.
and I wanna impact them in the future. I want them to learn about this. So I want for them to have a better learning experience and a better life. So it's your wife and is how hungry you are. So if you're not hungry, if you don't have a big why,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to do anything. So it's up to you.
Well, don't you think your why is what brought you to America anyway in the first place in
Oh,
2011 or whatever?
yeah, yeah, definitely. I always thought that that will give my kids a better opportunity in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, how do you help somebody understand their why, Rosa?
Whew, um, that's a great question. So I think you cannot help them understand the why. They have to have it. Like
Mm,
when I started struggling about all the things that were happening to us, I started going on Facebook and putting some intentional and motivational quotes.
yeah. Yeah.
And I was, first of all, I was doing that because I was saying that to myself. But
Yeah.
then a lot of people was coming back to me and telling them, you know what, I relate to what you're
Mm,
saying. Thank you for doing this. Um, so there's a lot of people struggling out there, but if they if they have the mentality and they don't want to, you know, they don't want to succeed or they don't have the hunger to come out. There's nothing that you can say
mm.
that will make them do it. That's what I think.
They have to want it. I heard that
Yeah,
once. You have to want it to want it,
yeah.
you
Hmm.
know. Um, and I agree. And my kids, I have six kids and they range from 7 to 20. So I've got some that are becoming adults. And
Hmm.
that's what I'm learning. And that's why I'm asking you, like, how do I teach my kids to find their why and make sure their why is a
Hmm.
good why rather
Yeah,
than, just
yeah,
drifting through life and
yeah, yeah. I
not
can tell
taking
you.
advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah, I can tell. I have two girls and a boy, and the boy he's still in college, and I don't know why boys are more difficult than girls, but my girls, I mean, I can tell you, and it's on them. They're hardworking, they're go getters. They don't want to do real estate, and I
Yeah.
totally get it. I hope they did, but I mean, you have to respect that. But I think there's some kids that struggle a little bit more, and they have to figure it out on their own. Sometimes, I mean, you help them, and and sometimes kids they don't want to listen to their parents. That's
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, but I mean, you lead by example, and
Yeah.
that's what they have to learn, right?
That's good. That's good. And yeah, I have six kids, four boys, two girls.
Hmm.
And yeah, I can see what you're saying, leading by example. And my kids are good kids. I mean, I'm happy with where they are,
Hmm.
but I want to learn from people if I can on how to continue to direct.
Hmm.
And something that something I really want is everybody, including my kids, to really take advantage of the opportunities they have.
Mhm.
and not just, be- I mean, you came to America because of opportunities, and
Mhm.
there's so many people here who I think they could do so much more um, with their life, but they don't want
Yeah.
to. And I want to motivate them, I guess. That's where I'm asking this. I want to
Yeah.
motivate them to do more.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I try to do. I try to motivate it. I respect where they want to go,
Hmm.
whatever is their passion,
Yeah.
and there for them. But if I see some opportunities out there that will make them, or that will make them an entrepreneurs, I will show it
Yes.
to them. Oh, well, look at this. I mean, this could be a great opportunity for you. I know that they have to work and they have to pay their bills, but I'm always telling them. And when two of my two girls, they are out of college already, and I invited my oldest one to retreat where she learned about mindset and stuff. And when
Yeah.
the other one graduated, I invited her to go to a Grand Cardone 10x
Yeah.
conference, and I mean she liked it a lot. She did, and she
Have you
actually
have you
Mhm.
have you been to one of Grant Cardone's events?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have
I've
you?
been to a lot of them. I've been to the 10x conference, 10x stages, 10x 360. Uh, well, two more. I can't remember. Yeah, but I've been to a lot of them.
I've been to a lot of conferences, but I've never been to one of his, so I need to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to take my youngest to Tony Robbins summit.
Okay. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.